does that happen every time? Hello everybody, happy Saturday shenanigans. So look at me, not talking about the weather. Not talking about the weather. Anyway, hello. So today's page, back when, I forget what year I'm working on, we were in Universal Studios, and I have a bunch of The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown type of pictures for this page. So what would this page be without donuts? So I'm gonna make some donuts. I've already made two because I didn't want you to have to watch me do the whole process of all of them. I've used some, I've got, let's see, what have I got here? So mostly Elizabeth Craft, I think. This one is from, what's it called? This is from the food truck, if you remember a few years ago, quite a few years ago. She had a food truck die and set. So that's where the saying is from. And also, I can't find it, but the donuts came from the same set. Oh, here it is. Oh, let me just squeeze this out without dropping everything. So this old set, that's from the food truck. And then this one, it just had special words. So the words that I'm using is special today, and then I stamped fresh donuts. And then I made some donuts. So, oh yes, now, my friend said to me that I am supposed to ask you to like and subscribe. So I put a little note up here so that I wouldn't forget to tell you that or ask you that. So anyway, like and subscribe, and then we can get more followers. So yay, that would be cool. Okay, let's turn this around. Okay, there's my page. So I've sort of picked everything out already. I've got some photo mats for this. Look at this picture. They have all these little cartoon sets, and then you can, make faces at them as it tells you to do things. Okay, so let's start with this. I'll just get the main layout down, and then I'll finish my donut. Okay, so there's one. And I cut out 4 of these and saved one, so I have an extra one for when I need this color again. I could have done all this ahead of time, I imagine. But then there would be actually nothing to do, so this page would probably be pretty quick. Okay, so my photos, actually I can put the photos down because they're not really gonna do anything here. So this one I'm gonna put here, and then I can overlap these. And I didn't put adhesive right to the edge because I will be tucking one small thing. I want that pretty high. That, and then this one. And this one I can tuck under a bit because doesn't matter if I cut off some of the people. So I'll just off center it just a touch. And then I've got these, this was just a big doily. So I'm just gonna cut it in half so I could use both parts. And over here, I was gonna put it underneath special today, but then, I don't know, somehow I ended up using yellow for fresh donuts, and that didn't work. So I'll put it like that. And then special today, I just used some foil paper scraps that I had sitting around. I did pop up fresh donuts because I figured that would be the most important word. You need to know what the special is. And in Homer Simpson's case, of course, it would be donuts. So special. You can kind of use these dots as a guide to line up. Yes. The letters are sort of concave, so I have to put bigger dots of glue. So they'll stick. Because when you cut out the foil, they kind of curve down, so the little thin layer of glue isn't really hitting anything. Okay, now, just for 1 sec, there we go. This one should be okay because the letters are bigger. Just put big dots around the edges. Like that. Special today. And then fresh donuts. So this one was just a stamp, and I just used one of the Spellbinders labels dies. Okay, and then I glued that down already. Okay, so I have these little strips. They were just sort of sitting on my desk. And I'm gonna cut little banners in them. and just sort of put them in the sun here. So I had a square on my desk. I was able to get 3 little strips. Okay, get off my page. Then I think I put them, yeah, just like that. That'll work. Different, just sort of stagger the, so it's trying, oh, actually the other side is red. That would have been better, but that's okay. Matches my donuts. There we go. I was just gonna say I was looking for bright primary color paper because, you know, the Simpsons are all like primary colors pretty much, and I couldn't find any background, so it's sort of primary colors but not quite. Okay, so there's that. Now my donuts, I did a little bit of ink on the edge just to give it a shadow. I already had my brush inked and everything, and I think I used ground espresso. So this is the part that I'm going to make the donut glaze, and I'm using, I'm sure all of you guys have some UT, ultra thick embossing powder, or any thick embossing powder kicking around that's clear in this case. I was going to do a colored one, but it wasn't quite as thick, so I wanted my goal, I have to turn this over so I don't get ink in my thing. So I have my embossing dabber, and I love using this because it's easier sometimes than trying to push an image into my Versamark pad. I like the Versamark pad for stamping, but for this type of thing I do this. Okay, now I might have to be a little bit quick here because I need to get the embossing powder thick enough so that I can press it into the sprinkles and they'll hold, like you can see here. They hold and they're not going to fall off. So that's what I have to do here. So I'm going to have to do a couple of layers, and then as soon as I'm done I have to quickly press it into here. So I've got the tray ready, my tweezers so I can hold it, and I'm gonna just dump some of the embossing powder. And again, this is the thick stuff, so it doesn't always have a purpose, but for stuff like this, definitely. So I'm gonna have to do this a couple times, so you might not hear me for a little bit. Can you see up the side there? So it's quite thick, takes a little bit to melt. And now because it's hot, I can pour more on quickly. Oh, see, that part wasn't hot enough, but that's okay, I'll get it the second time. It's much thicker than the regular embossing powder. And just because it was hot, I can pour onto it and it'll stick to itself again without having to reapply. And if it cooled down, or if it wasn't sticking enough, then I would use this again, but it seems to be working okay, so I'll just do that. And this layer should be thick enough. I've got 3 on here. Okay, so I gotta make sure it's nice and gooey, and then quickly press it into the sprinkles. And then I might have to do it again. So I'm gonna just give this a little heat blast. Not too much because I don't want the sprinkles to melt, but just sort of enough to set them in. And get that part wet, and then stick this in again. And now, these up here. If there's any sort of sticking out, I can kick them off. But that should be enough, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of heat. Oh, there's a couple in the center. Okay. Okay, so now that is cool enough. Let's get my, just going to sort of tap that in. Okay, get my powders out of the way. So these were just the clay little pieces that look like sprinkles, and I've had a few different sets of them. This one was from Paper Rose. Baby sprinkles. Okay, I'll just pour these back in my bag. I just like to do this so I don't get a whole bunch of, so I don't hit the tray, tip them all over, you know. Okay, so now I just have to glue that. That should be cool enough to move. Glue, here we go. Glue that onto the base. And this is my fun icing. Okay. And then I'm just gonna glue, glue that one down. Just because it's in my hand. Okay, and I have one that's a different color, so I'm just sort of gonna scatter these a bit. Press down. And then put that one like that. And then this one, I don't know if I can overlap them. Maybe just a teeny bit, because I'm not actually, let's pop this one up. Let's do that. I'll pop this up. I'll do that one later because it's a different color. So then I can sort of overlap them a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to overlap a bit like that. Maybe move this one over. Can I still? Nope. All right, back you go. There we go. And then this one I'll pop up. That way, just because it's different. So now I'll really make it different. One more. And now I want a donut. There. Fresh donuts. Okay, now let me get glue. I was gonna do something on this fresh donut here. What was it? Maybe let's just do some stickles around the border. I was gonna ink it and I forgot. So I'll just do, oh, that one has a really thick, that one's super, super thick. Big chunks. That's not what I want. I just want a little regular. Everything's sort of shiny and frosty and glittery. Because donuts always have, you know, shiny icing or sprinkles on them or something. So there we go. Oh, and let's do, just going to do the peaks of these banners. So I have to be careful how I hold them up, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so let's turn this, dump off all these little tags that I cut off. Turn this up here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now there is my special today fresh donuts. You can see the glitter around the edge, my little sprinkles, and I did the glitter on the banner tails there. So there we go. That's my page 1 of The Simpsons in Universal Studios. Okay, but you can see how nice and glazy the donuts are. So those turned out really cool. If you don't have a donut die, I'm sure you could just do 2 circles, smaller circles, and then do the same type of thing. You could even cut it wonky if you wanted to, but using the thick embossing powder is what's going to get you that you can sink things into it. So have a lovely day, and like and subscribe. I did it. There you go. You can be proud of me, Lori. Okay, ciao.